So I thought I wouldn't come live for this one because there's no point, because it's just my story on letting people know how I came to Flat Earth, if that's what people want to say. And I'm just going to do a little one because it's not anything, miraculous or anything, or nefarious as some people seem to think it is, because like people have heard, they do videos on people channels, and they don't sort of ask the person nicely, or just wait and see what someone's talking about. They just go in, do a hit piece, if that's what people call them, straight away when someone appears talking about Flat Earth, which to me sounds like what mainstream media do, because mainstream media go in on people that are trying to get truth out about certain stuff, and they twist things, put them out there for everyone to see, and tell lies, because we know that's what mainstream media do. So to me, that's exactly the same thing. They're not telling the truth about people. They don't know the people. They know they're trying to twist it for their agenda, and then they stick it out there for everyone to see, and then the sheeple who follow it believe it because they don't go and find out for themselves. So that, to me, is the same thing as mainstream media, nefarious mainstream media, lamestream media. So to me, that's quite the same thing. So I thought I'd come on with my own words of my little story, because some people think I've been recruited, I'm part of something else, and I've just come on the scene. I haven't just come on the scene. I've been on YouTube a little bit talking about all sorts of different things. And as soon as I open my mouth about Flat Earth, which I have mentioned in my other chats, I think it's just because I had a title up with Flat Earthing, and I think I shouted out the Netflix documentary, so some people got triggered by that and thought, where's she come from? We've all come from somewhere. Oh, and she's a woman, because I've begun to realise that Flat Earth is very male orientated, and I think that needs to change a little bit. Men don't like that. Not all men, but some men don't like that. And I even got men saying, and men are quite nasty as well. I thought women could be bitches, but men are really nasty. I've seen some of the disgusting comments of people, and I've seen some funny comments about, women are always a bit on the mystic side of things. Yes, they are, and there's good reason for it, and it needs to come back, because the mystic side is those things that you can't see, but they're out there. And those of you who know what I mean know exactly what I'm talking about. Just that if you don't have eyes to see, then, you're not going to see. But those of us who understand about all that side of it, and many other things that are going on, because I think in the conspiracy realm of what people call it, we know it's not a conspiracy, but some people think it's only one that's going on, and some people think it's only Flat Earth. There's many out there, and obviously that's what I'll be sort of mentioning, because that's where some people came in to their Flat Earth knowing. It's a knowing. Like, a lot of us know, not a lot of people believe, but a lot of us know about 9/11. Falling on its own footprint and all that. We all know about that. That was a conspiracy. We all know about the JFK assassination. That's classed as a conspiracy. Flat Earth is classed as a conspiracy. The Titanic is classed as a conspiracy. There's many out there, the big ones. And the biggest one going at the minute over, I'd say, Flat Earth is QAnon conspiracy. A lot in the UK haven't heard about it and won't research it because they don't believe it, but they don't research. But it is known as a conspiracy, and it's known as a Trump conspiracy as well. So there's that word, conspiracy again, that links up to Flat Earth again, because, conspiracy was made up by the CIA. They made that word up to make people who are talking about truth look like nutcases, as we know. So we do know that there's people out there who say they're on the truthing side with all them different types of truthing communities, but they're not. They're for the nefarious side, trying to stop people get it out, or sort of swaying them to other things. A bit like Alex Jones, really, just saying. We'll find out about that, whether it's true or not. But anyway, my story is, when I was a young girl, I used to watch all the fantasy films and the sci-fi films and stuff like that. And I've always loved the sort of like Lord of the Rings. I've said this before, and Thor and them sort of things, where maybe on a Middle Earth or a realm or a plane. I've always thought as a kid, wouldn't it be nice if we... Didn't really think that much of it as a kid, but I'm still into them sort of things, as you know, and I will be talking about a film after I've done this one, for a bit of fun. But not that that's important about saying about films, but it is in there. And then, you know, as I've been getting older and stuff, and I don't watch the TV now, I haven't watched the news for about 6 years, or I think it could be more. It's always been like, and I'm talking about news on mainstream media, not looking at little bits on YouTube and stuff. It's like, I'm sick of the news, I'm sick of hearing all this negativity, kids dying, wars, this, that and the other. There's never anything positive. It's all negative, negative, negative. They hardly put anything on positive, maybe a snippet, but it's not much, just to keep people's hopes up just that little bit. But normally it's all doom and gloom, and you've got programmes on TV, that programme, you know, even Coronation Street and all that sort of stuff that people watch. Don't watch any of that anymore. And it's all to keep you in doom and gloom, because them shows are always doom and gloom, doom and gloom. It's all to keep you trodden down and miserable and depressed. And I've talked about this before. So there's all that. And then it's like, I don't like watching the news. And everyone has that knowing at some point, I'm sure. If you don't, then I don't know why you're not questioning things. You've woke up some point in your life, either earlier on, because some people say, I've been looking at it. It's like, yeah, you might have woke up then. People are waking up at different times. People aren't here to wake up at the same times. It wouldn't work properly for the plan that's coming in. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Is you start thinking why we're here. Like, why we're here, what's it all about? It's all doom and gloom. Like, I don't understand what's it all about. And then you start looking into certain things. And especially if you start going on the internet, you're like, or reading books, and you go on the internet and you're like, So, made a YouTube channel, didn't know why, just wanted to chat about things, didn't know whether to do makeup like girls do, didn't know whether to do, thinking what, but then I fell off that, and I was like, no, I don't really want to do makeup and that, because that's just people, like, they're not bringing anything really, like, I don't mean they're not bringing anything, but I don't want to do what everybody else does. So I just made a YouTube channel, and if you've watched me from the beginning, I've grown and talked about many different things up to the present day now. But I've always been positive, as I've said. So, and I like talking. So, at some point I was having all these thoughts, I don't want to watch TV anymore, it upsets me, I get emotional, blah, 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 blah. And then, I don't know what happened, but I came across Tommy Robinson on YouTube and thought, what's all this about? What's going on? And I'm not going into that because people know about it. And I did a video on it when Tommy Robinson, just before when he went to prison. And that got about 15,000 views. And I was like, oh my God, like, what's going on? I need to look into this. So followed that for a bit, still support Tommy and all that side of it. But then I was like, oh God, I just don't get why people like what's going on, and people are fighting on this side and people are fighting on that side, and you've got Antifa going on, this, that, and the other, and all this stuff. And then it was like, you know, why are mainstream media not putting the truth out? Why are they just filming snippets of what they want to film, like I just said before about people doing hit jobs on people, and then putting it on the news when it's not the truth, and people who were at these rallies or at these marches and that can see what's going on properly compared to what they're putting out to the sheeple on TV. So my dad was like, if you really want to know what's going on in the world, and if I do ever say globe, it's not because I'm a globie pretending to be an earther, it's one of them things we've been programmed in our minds. It's very hard to sometimes when you stumble and say that word, because you're like, it's been programmed for so long off your parents and everything at school and everything, so sometimes it does come out, doesn't mean anything. Some people are very paranoid. My dad was like, if you really want to know what's going on, get onto QAnon. So I got onto Q and I was like, oh my God, where we live, like, what the hell is going on? Like, I nearly had a breakdown for 2 weeks. I was like, what is going on behind this? Like, what? So when people say it's a matrix we live in, yeah, it probably is, whatever it is, because we've got all this flat earth and it's got a dome, or has it got a dome? It hasn't got a dome, it's got matrix, it's got well, we've been lied to all our lives. That's what I'm trying to say. This is what we're trying to figure out. But the key thing is, because people will go, oh yeah, it's that, do you take the red pill or do you take the blue pill? Like in the Matrix film, there's a lot in that Matrix films. The red pill, you'll have your eyes opened and you'll never be able to unsee what you've seen, and that's the case with me. It's like, see it in films, see it everywhere. The blue pill, you can have the blue pill and go back to sleep and you'll forget everything and and it's easier to do that. And I did think when I found out, oh, Dad, why did you show me this? Like, I wish I could just have the blue pill and just forget about it. but I believe I wasn't here to forget about it. But now I actually look back at all that time when I was upset. I am glad I know. I would have rather had the red pill, because it's about consciousness and awareness, and people get in fear about, or they don't want to look at the nasty things. You know what I'm talking about? I'm not going in depth in that. If you're onto Q, brilliant. If you're not, well, there's a lot of stuff you don't know about as well. The nasty side of it, the nefarious side, the really evil side. But you need to know about that to know, in my eyes, to know what you do want for humanity, yourself, your friends, your family, kids, everything, what you want for the earth as well, is you have to look at the bad to see the light, because we are part of it, you know, yin and yang and all that. So the Q movement, so I got into the Q movement, I was researching, and everyone knows who followed me, who follows me properly, not people who've just found out about me because certain places are mentioning my name, so you're all getting triggered and stuff. All know that I was on here a lot, live streaming it, knackered, tired, just putting my thoughts and perception on what I was seeing, trying to break things down, doing numerology and stuff and this, that and the other. And then through Q, I came across, through going down all them rabbit holes, as people like to say, and researching, I came across someone called J Dreamers channel. And if you're into petrified giants, mud fossils, because there was mud fossils university I used to watch. This was ages ago. This isn't brand new. This was about 18 months ago. Okay. J Dreamers talks about the Elohim, the mud fossils, the silicone age. So if you are interested in any of that sort of stuff, and even if you're not, it's fun anyway. You don't have to believe in it. But he does go on about flat earth. And J Dreamers was one of the one that got me interested in all of them sort of, you know, thoughts and perceptions that other people are having and beliefs and stuff like that. And it was brilliant, and he's fun, and he's nice, and he's a nice guy as well. You know, he's not, you know, he's easy to watch and he's easy to listen to, and he breaks things down really well, easy to understand. So there was J Dreamers is Jay, and then it's Dreamers, but it's got a Z at the end instead of an S, and he's lovely. So I watched a lot of his stuff, and I just went back today actually and just jogged my memory with it, because he says this. Like I said, I can see that there's flat earthers going against flat earthers and all that, because it's who wants to be right and who wants to be this, and I just think that's just drama, and it's like, whatever. You should be more looking on the side that there's people coming and being curious about flat earth coming. It doesn't mean that everyone who comes new is nefarious. Do you know what I mean? Check it out first. Not doing what some people have done. Do you not want people asking? Like I said today, I've got friends that I've been talking about and I've not mentioned to it. So a lot of people are thinking about it. Doesn't mean just because you're not on YouTube and you're talking about it, there isn't people thinking about it or looking for it. They don't know where to go. Definitely know where I'll be sending them if they want to find out. So on YouTube, J Dreamers was saying this, and I still think this is right. Like, you could think now, you know, I just definitely know we're not on a globe. I don't see us on a globe through certain things, especially with the level of water and how water finds its own level, and the stars and the constellations. You know, I love the astrology side of it. Like, they're always there, they're stationary. They're not, you know what I mean? So that's one of my biggest things on it. It doesn't matter if that's not someone else's. It doesn't matter. But water doesn't bend, does it? Come on. So, and I'm not a show who's going to be doing, oh yeah, I'm measuring this, that and the other. I'm not into all that. I'm into the other side of it. There's many different sides of it. But J Dreamers, if I can find it. You know, I like the way this guy does this.
I'm sorry, guys. I have to.
The way he says this, because he was really religious, and then he come out of it.
All this chaos going on, even if it's organized chaos in our galaxy and our solar
and it might trigger some people because he's put defending the ball Earth. You've got to listen to it, and that's not what he's saying.
The rest of unknown space.
He says the picture underneath is what he sees it more as, because it's more simple, which it is more simple than us flying through space and spiraling and all this, that and the other. So just listen to what he says.
Those stars to be in a... So, if I were to land on the ball Earth, not being oriented to its speed or its velocity or its direction or any of that, then I would naturally expect to be disoriented the moment I touch down on this moving object, right? I would immediately expect to be very disoriented, going from non-movement in space in gravityless, weightlessness, etc., to the object that is moving. Just like if you are on the motionless, non-moving ground and you step onto that people mover, whoa, it immediately throws you off balance, off base, right? That's the same thing with the earth. Now, let's take it a step further. Let's say that I'm on the people mover and it goes for quite some ways, right? Now, I acclimate myself to the movement. I adjust to the movement. I get used to the people mover, its direction, its flow, almost to the point where I don't even feel like I'm moving. I almost feel like everybody else is moving. Let's just say that that's what's happening. Okay, so imagine in your mind, you're on the people mover. You're used to the direction that it's moving in. Just like we are supposedly used to the direction that the earth is spinning and wobbling and tilting in. Okay, they say that you're just used to it. That's all, right? Now, on the people mover, if you were to paint on the conveyor belt itself,
find the bit, because you can watch this
cycle, astrolabe, and some good reason for that. And this is something I want you guys to really pick up on, okay? Flat earthers are just like globe earthers. Globe earthers have no idea how their model works. They have no idea what's in the middle of the earth. They don't know a whole lot about it. They just have a lot of faith and trust in it, okay? There are a lot of flat earthers that feel the same way. They've heard it, you know, it lines up, it makes sense. They don't research it, they don't look into it, and they just go with it. Some people have seen pictures of clouds that look like they're behind the sun or behind the moon, and they go, whoa, there it is, boom, you know? That's the end of the story. But I have personally been on an airplane above the clouds, high up, and I've done a lot of research that indicates that's not what's happening. It has to do with the brightness of the object that's in front of the clouds, whether or not it will make the clouds look like they're closer or further back. Rasta says, J Dreamers, you know how the planets go in different patterns instead of just from one side of the sky to the other side of the sky. I won't discount that simply because I don't know how it works. I believe that it is absolutely possible for the things in our sky to change positions and to move in different areas. Just like I think it's called a styrograph, you know, where you like make a circle and the lines go in all kinds of squiggly ways. But I don't discount it simply because I don't know how it works. I'm trying to catch up to all the comments here.
I'll just find out where he was.
The earth itself. I would have to point directly through the ground in order to... What I can tell you is that there is an adjustment for the drop of the bullet, okay?
Oh, he was talking about when he was in the Navy, but just let me find out the little bit where the timing stamp sort of thing was on it, because where was it? It was was 1 hour and 28 seconds. So just let me try and pull that up again.
An adjustment for an old malfunctioning sun, and that's why it's the same size as the sun.
I'm not saying everything he's saying is true. I'm saying this is who I was watching.
Astrolabe and something else. No, not all of them. Many of them. Okay. Some of them, even if I'm being extremely honest, okay, further away or keep it level if it's closer. And I know there's probably people out there going, oh, there's this one star that moved a tiny bit. It used to be here, now it's here or whatever, okay? No, not at all. I'm sorry. But if there's all this chaos going on, even if it's organized chaos in our galaxy, in our solar system, and through the rest of unknown space, I expect those stars to be in a different place quite often from year to year, even more so from decade to decade, even more so from century to century, millennia to millennia. You get the point. Those stars should absolutely not, and there is no good reason for those stars to be stuck in the same constellations, predictable, reliable, and loyal to the observer, okay? Those stars are the same, and they have always been in the same place because they've always been in the same place, because they're not chaotically moving. They're not going off in their own star directions. We are not, like this image down here shows.
Talking about this one.
There. That's not happening. Look how ridiculous that looks, right? There's the sun shooting through, and we're all just kind of spiraling out of control all the way around it. That, just simply explaining it, doesn't it at least sound ridiculous? Come on, let's at least give it that much. It does. It does sound ridiculous, right? It looks ridiculous. You want to draw little people onto that diagram, little stick figures that are holding on for dear life, like as they're flying around the sun, and it's flying around whatever, and everything's flying around everything. That looks like a really confusing, chaotic place to be. Now look at the picture underneath me. Which one looks peaceful? I'm just going to ask you that. I'm talking simplicity. I'm talking about simplicity, really. It's simple. The simple things are
simple things are life and free. So anyway, that was the person that I started watching. There was a lot of others, and I can't think who they are, because I've seen a lot of videos on Flat Earth, some to do with biblical things, because yes, it is in the Bible. Like I said, I'm not religious, but I believe in certain other things that are in the Bible. Loads and loads and loads of videos, because there is loads of people doing it. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head who they are, but I know Jay Dreamers was one of the ones I watched because I like the way he does it. I like the way he does his pictures in the background. I like the way he is. He's a nice guy. He's easy to understand. And like I said, you've got to resonate to who you resonate with and who you understand. So I'm just going to give Jay Dreamers out a shout out, because I have given him a shout out before, because like I said, if you know and have watched me before, you will have known I've shouted this out before. So it is Jay Dreamers. And I just like the way he does things. So through Q and on is mainly really how I came to it all, even though I've always questioned certain stuff, but not really thought too much on it to come out and talk on YouTube, because I wasn't talking about that stuff then. Also, one of the biggest things that got me into looking about Flat Earth, like whatever model it is, just saying again, I never said, you know, this is the model and this is what it is. I've said, this is what I believe it could be, and these are my thoughts. These are just my thoughts, and it might change. But I do know we've been lied to, and I don't think we're living on a ball. The flat earth shape could be any shape. There's many models out there. I don't know which model it is. But if there's ones that I think, oh yeah, I like the idea of that one, then I like the idea of that one. If someone gets triggered by that, that's their own problem. That might change in a couple of months. We might find out it's a totally different shape to what anyone's come up with, okay? So, the next thing, because I've heard a lot of people say this is the biggest thing as well, is, I mean, one, we know NASA lies, that was in the queue as well. The UN map, and we know what the UN are as well. Symbolism in film, symbolism all around you. And I'm going to draw one when I finish this chat on the film I was just watching. Also, the pyramids is one of the biggest things. The pyramids, also going to the star constellations as well, because that's why I said I like astrology and things to do with star systems and star constellations. The pyramids. Oh, I do like chats on the pyramids, Atlantis and all this sort of stuff, because there's them other conspiracy things again, innit? Ancient civilizations and technology, what the pyramids were really used for. Well, they weren't what they said they were used for, were they? But there's arguments and discussions in that thing, because my thing, was it a thing to hold the energy of Earth's frequency? We know they were harnessing energy from above and below, most likely, because now I'm thinking about the dark crystal the other day with the ley lines of Earth, because we have Earth's energy, but we also have the energy out there, as above, so below. Tesla. There's the other thing with Tesla. I love the things about Tesla. Also, because Trump. Yes, Trump. Trump is part of the QAnon conspiracy, because Trump is part of Q. Some people might not know that. But Trump did say he flies lots of planes. Lots of planes. Flies lots of planes, jets and a 747 or whatever he's got, and he would know if the world was round. Because even NASA have said, I took a picture today actually of, I've drawn this before. Like, I don't know what NASA's doing, making their own films up, Hollywood style, yes. painting pictures of the globe. Yeah. CGI and all this, that and the other. We know how Hollywood works, so we know they can do anything. But I've said this before, NASA have said in some of their reports, a circle. Well, it probably is a circle. The way I'm liking to see it, yeah, it probably is a circle. But they don't. It's not a ball, is it? Let me see if I can find this picture. If I took the picture, I'm not sure. I don't know if I did. Anyway, I can draw it. I can draw it on a piece of paper. If I've got a spare piece of paper. Yeah, so I'm just going to, probably get people getting triggered by this now. How to draw that. Right, just say, for instance, this is what NASA promote, yeah? A globe, and that's why I've tried to do it. Well, I can't do it dimensionally, like a sphere, but this is the globe. But this is the sort of model that people have on the Flat Earth t-shirt. So I'm not saying it is this model with a nice world around it. I'm just saying, for example, the picture that people have on the tops of the Flat Earth sort of logo, like if you want to say it like that. So they both look the same, don't they? It's still a circle. This one's a circle. This one's a globe, but that means it's a ball shape, it's a sphere. But this one doesn't, as I tried to explain the other day when someone was taking the mick and putting silly hit videos up. From up above, it would look like that. But from another side, it may look like that. I'm not saying it's flat like that. I don't know. I'm just saying, for example, they look the same, don't they? But this one's meant to be like a sphere, so they say circle. So we all know NASA lie and this, that and the other. We'll never know if there's bits of truth in stuff they are saying, because all I seem to get on this channel is, do you believe in space? What do you think space is? I don't know. I don't think it means there is no space. What is space? Is it plasma? Is it a crystal water? Is it the waters above? Is it, I don't know. I'm not really interested in all that side of it, that some people seem to be really interested in, because as I keep saying, that's not the bit that interests me. And then, where Roxanne comes in, because some people seem to get triggered by that of how I know Roxanne. I don't know Roxanne, and I didn't know Sleeping Warrior until now, but it's pushed me more that way because people are moaning about it. So then you sort of go around looking like, why? It is to do with Tommy Robinson. Not because she was on the Tommy Robinson thing, because when I got into Q about 18 months ago or more, I was watching videos on YouTube of Speaker's Corner on Tommy Robinson. Because if anyone was on the Tommy Robinson thing, it's still going on about now, they were having, it was all the religious side and all this going on down there, and going on for months, and it's probably still going on, and it was really heated, and I was watching a lot of videos about all that was going on. Then I came across, because I was looking at a lot of Speaker's Corner, you get a lot of things recommended on YouTube, don't you? Roxanne popped up. And I thought, oh, what's this girl talking about? And she was there talking about Flat Earth. And I was like, oh, I really like it. Oh, yeah, because I'm into a bit of this Flat Earth stuff. But I just watched a couple of videos, and she'll probably know that some of the videos were a bit choppy and that, so it was hard to watch. But I think I did subscribe them, but not watched a lot of them. But I've still been looking around at other people, on and off. Then I came across Trinity 4, who's a lovely guy as well. And I have commented on some of his videos when he does his little talks in the mornings and stuff. And he talks about other stuff, because everyone does their own thing and the way they do it. So they're the two people, not the only two people I was watching. Like I said, I was watching Jade Dreamers. That's how I came across Roxanne, was through Q. Just found out she's into that as well. Didn't know that. Brilliant. Isn't it good when you get connected like that? But that's how I came across her. Not recently, how some people think I've just come out of nowhere and anything like that. I didn't know her. I didn't know her then. I just thought, oh, I think it's that girl who was in Speaker's Corner, because I was watching a lot of Tommy stuff, totally on a different thing. But now I realise who it is, and I liked her then, and I like her now. But some people, have got triggered and think it's something else because, I don't know, they don't like these other people, or they're not part of a gang or something. So I'm assuming that's how it works. So I'd just like to say, I haven't popped out of nowhere and just started talking about it. It's because I opened my mouth, because my sister told me the other day, because she knows about all the so-called conspiracy theories I talk about, and knew I was talking about Flat Earth not on here as much, and said, have you seen the documentary that some people got triggered in? Because some people go on about mainstream media and Netflix. Yes, we know what Netflix are, but it doesn't mean that everything that gets on Netflix is nefarious or bad. Especially if they've bought it, they will change certain things like titles or certain things in it, as we all know. It was my sister who told me to go and watch that, so I did, and then shouted it out, and some people got triggered. I talk about that behind the scene with my family and friends, and they think I'm mad, but now my friends have started talking about it. So I do think people are allowed to open their mouths on YouTube of whatever way they think it is, and they shouldn't be attacked, and there should be more women coming in, and they shouldn't be in fear, because all this nefarious stuff that's happening in the conspiracy realms, if you want to call it, especially with Q, because all this trolling and all this stuff is nothing new to me. You get it when you're talking about Q, because all this nefarious stuff is how they do it. Like I said before, these people have got to think, if you're really onto Flat Earth and you really want to help your community, you really need to unite, because it's about uniting. It's not about fighting, it's about uniting. You're pushing people away. Your intentions might be good, but you really need to research things properly instead of someone coming up and saying something, about Flat Earth, and next minute you jump all over them and you put hit pieces out, 4 or 5 hit pieces. Look at this person. Total lies, making up silly comments that I could read out, but I'm not that sort of person that does, because it's just drama to get other people's channels more subs. You're pushing people away unless that's what you're there to do in your so-called flat community group, pushing people away from flat community, because I just see that as bullying, and I wouldn't want anything to do with anyone who was trying to tell me who I should be watching and what I should be doing. You're coming across, I'm not saying you are, but you're coming across like you're mainstream media. This is what mainstream media do, like I said at the beginning. They either assassinate people's characters with no truth behind it, no proof, because that's what they do. If you don't know, people need to wake up, or they assassinate them when they want to come out with truth, like JFK. And they make them look stupid by cutting videos up, saying stuff about them when they've got no proof, they don't know nothing about them, they've never watched them properly, they're just assuming in their heads because they've got paranoid about maybe certain things you're watching. Because when you do get into the conspiracies and you go down the rabbit holes, you do get a bit paranoid. Like people who've said, I've heard about the Red Shoe Society, I won't be able to wear red shoes anymore. No, you can wear red shoes. Your shoes aren't made out of what their shoes are made out of. And somebody's silly comment the other day, because I said my son was having pizza, I saw a comment saying, and we know what that's about, don't we? No, that shows you how paranoid you are. We all know, well, not everybody knows about Pizzagate, and it's not a conspiracy, it's real, and it will be coming out. It doesn't mean if you eat a pizza from Morrison's that you're in the pizza gang, the nefarious pizza gang that's going on, with the elites, the paedophilia thing. What a stupid thing to say. How immature is that? And same people are this and same people are that when you've got no idea, you're paranoid. I don't know what you're doing. Looking into... God, I go back down the rabbit holes, but there's no need for that. It's the most silliest thing I've ever heard, but that's what some people are like. So the biggest thing I came to that reignited my looking into Flat Earth was Q, because we all know what the New World Order is. Globalism, that thing that's always been put in the background in schools of the globe. Kids, it's a globe we live on. Cartoons and everything, like I've repeated before, we've been programmed from the TV, the schools. I'm not saying teachers, no, I'm saying the ones above, not normal teachers. You've been programmed off your parents and your parents' parents and your parents' parents before, because it's programming. And that's why I said when the TV came in the late 1940s, 50s, whatever it is, it was easier for them to start going for our minds. Because as I said, the Trinity, mind, body and spirit, they went for your minds, through the TV, and telling you what was true when it wasn't, but sheep will sit there and believe everything they see on telly without questioning everything, because this is what it is about. It's about you have the right to question everything and research. That's what the Q movement is, for those of you who don't believe it. It's a movement of truth. You get the breadcrumbs, you don't have to do anything, but you get the breadcrumbs and you go off and research it yourself and question everything, because you should be questioning everything. And if you're not allowed to question something, then something nefarious is going on. If you're not allowed to question it, if kids aren't allowed to question, going to school and question yeah, but I think it's this because I was doing, maybe they've done a little experiment with water, I don't know. And the teachers are like, no, this is a curriculum. Well, that's wrong. You should be able to question everything. Why not? If not, why not? And that's what it's about, It's a movement of truth, research and question everything. But all the nefarious stuff I've found out, the people that do this nefarious stuff are all globalists. And it normally comes across as, if you're a globie, I'm not saying everybody, you're normally atheist or antichrist, which means you don't believe in Christ. I'm not religious, but I believe in a creator of, I don't know what the creator is, could be an energy source, I don't know what it is. So when other people get triggered as well, go, talking about religion. No, I'm not talking about religion. We aren't just here aimlessly, just, I believe there are higher things. Just because you can't see it beyond the veil, as we like to call it, does not mean it isn't there. And that's why you need more women in this community, because a lot of men don't think like that. I'm not saying everybody, but a lot of men don't think that way. Because like what I'm going to come and do in a minute, the Dark Tower film I've just watched, that said a lot in that film. And people can laugh, but there's a lot of things in films that they put out there. You ever go, it's mainstream media, yes, but they put it out there in fantasy, so you wouldn't believe it anyway. You just go, oh, it's a bit thingy, that it sounds a bit, oh yeah, it makes sense, doesn't it? But it's not real, it's just a film. That's their way of getting it out. Not reality's way of mainstream media, that's a pack of lies. So when they say, what's the saying, fantasy's strange, what is it? Is it fantasy stranger than fiction or whatever the quote is? It's because it is. What you think reality isn't real. Normally the fantasy stuff is, I'm not saying everything in it, like certain things in Star Wars that I love, but it doesn't mean because they're showing Earth as a planet, it is a globe, you know what I'm saying? But there's certain things in certain films and people will poo-hoo it because they go, oh, it was just a film. And there is a lifting of the veil. I believe there's a lifting of the veil. Some people are not on that. That's good if you're not onto it, but there are a lot of people who are. So my story is basically the biggest person who reignited my research about flat Earth is Q, because of stuff I've researched in there and channels it sent me to and this, that and the other. Now I don't have to explain it all, but that's the main person who reignited it, because it has been brought up in the Q drops about flat Earth and different things, and JFK Jr. who flew a lot, Trump who flies a lot, and certain things that have been talked about and discussed because some of it's biblical. They've had a lot of biblical quotes in there because if you look in the Bible, there are things to do with flat Earth and that. So that's where it all came from, not how someone's been portraying how I've all of a sudden come onto YouTube, because I haven't all of a sudden come onto YouTube. New on YouTube for talking about flat Earth lately, even though I have done it in some of my other videos, just popped a few things in there. So that's all I wanted to say, and that's why I didn't do it live, because I didn't need to come live with people waffling on in chat when it's got nothing to do anything of me telling my story. So I think I got all that out. But like I said, I just don't believe we're on a globe. And anyone in my chat who normally comes on who does believe in a globe, don't get triggered by it. You just believe in what you believe. It doesn't mean you're a bad person. I'm just saying there are a lot of nefarious people who, that's the ones who work for that, put it out. But I'm not saying be triggered by it. I'm just saying that's what I believe at the minute. It's like J Dreamers said, channel, is I don't believe it's a globe, a ball shape, what they've been saying, and the way they say we're spinning through Spain and this, that and the other. I say flat Earth because, I believe it's some sort of plane. I don't know what shape it is. I don't know what model it is. I like ideas, people with models, and I will come and go, yeah, I think it could be this, maybe I believe it could be this. I'm not saying it definitely is, and I went there and I've seen it and I've gone up there and I've actually looked at it. I've never said that. Maybe in 6 months' time, I might be going, oh, actually, do you know what? I think it's... And what if it comes out as something totally different to what we thought? Who knows? But I'm just saying, I don't believe it's a globe. And that's all. And that's the end of it. And that's, you can come in my chat trying to ask me questions about, you're evading my question, you're doing this. I don't need to do anything. So that was that. And yeah, and if there is women out there and you want to talk about stuff, don't be in fear of talking about anything, flat earth, anything, because these people, nefarious stuff, that I found out about queuing in other areas because they're in all the conspiracy communities. That's what they want you in fear, not to talk out, because that's how they don't want unity, basically. People are going on about, it's called networking. That's what they're doing. You're supposed to network with people. It's called getting in contact with people. That's why we have the internet, networking, so we can get in contact with people around the world and get in contact and start talking about all the things, what have you seen? What do you think? There's nothing wrong in that. What's so wrong with networking? It's what you're supposed to do. It's great. It's brilliant. And that's how you unite, because then you realise people are talking about the same thing. They might not be on the same sort of believe in everything you're saying, people have different opinions and stuff of how they think things work. That might change. They might get more on their side, more on their side. It's not about fighting. It's about uniting, and that's the end of it.